Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Clover. And today, I'm still continuing my Disney movie marathon by discussing, literally anything that's related to Disney. With the films, whatever, like the theme parks and whatnot, or just discussing people responding to their stuff and then me responding to their stuff or whatever. And one thing for sure is that I would love to see a goth princess. That'd be pretty cool. I know a lot of religious people get mad at that, but I really don't care. I really do not care. And I'm all open for diversity, of course, anyway and whatnot. So yeah. And just so you know, there's also a subset of groups of goth. It's not just one that's stereotypical that can be and whatnot. There's also the whole punk rock thing as well. That's somehow part of this. Ensemble goth, or blah blah blah. It's in some ways like a response to this. In some ways, this video. Because the whole thing with Luca, I mean, it's not a bad movie. I guess you quite like it. So in some ways, I feel like people are kind of reading too much into it. In some ways, and don't get me wrong, it's not a bad movie. Like I said, I actually quite liked it. I mean, yeah, but yeah, it's about these two boys who are like half fish, or okay, like they transform into people, or whatever, and somehow they think it's an allegory for homosexuality or whatever. Which I'm not against, of course, but can we get a princess that's goth? I would love to see that. But the yeah, I love to see a goth princess. Since a lot of people are up in arms when it comes to that kind of thing. But thinking that one movie I just mentioned a moment is about that, I think some people are just reading too much into it. Really, well, kind of be just about two friends, two male friends being friends, and that's it. Not that I'm against, them being more than that, of course, but I'm just saying. It just come off like this, so a lot of people can be reading far too much into some things and whatnot. So what I'm trying to say is that maybe they're going to expand in other kind of ways as well. Because like I told you, like I said a moment ago, when it comes to the princess movies, a lot of people always seem to be fighting against these movies for some bizarre reason, for various reasons, like I discussed before and whatnot. I know this pretty much is like adding fuel to the fire. Or how about you could have a goth princess as bisexual? How about that? And and again, to give you more idea of what I'm talking about, is that don't be thinking I'm trying to favor one LGBT group over the other. I'm not trying to do that. Oh, I'm trying to favor lesbians over gay men. I'm not. I swear I'm not doing that. I mean, I know that seems a little stereotypical with some people. Some people would much rather watch lesbians than gay men. Yes, that's a thing for some reason, but I'm just saying that's not me. Not that I'm trying to fetishize anybody, despite the fact I'm actually going to be defending the more, adult entertainment kind of stuff, the more adult content, which I'm fine with. So don't be thinking that even even if I'm favor for the more more graphic stuff, I guess you can say, when it comes to sex or whatever, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna try to fetishize anybody whatsoever, any shape or form, like at all. Just throwing it out there, folks. Okay, just so you know. But yeah, but I was saying with that one movie, a lot of people felt that it was like a missed opportunity from Disney that they could use that hide the monster as an allegory for homosexuality. Like society's being people feeling ashamed to hide it. That's not what the movie's trying to do at all. And then people would say that maybe Disney should be ashamed for not going full force with that. I mean, they could do it in other ways, and it's nothing had to do with this movie really, like at all. Like I said before, like multiple times before, I'm all for diversity, obviously. But however, why can't it just be two people being friends? Kind of like how people would assume if two lesbian women who are having a relationship, they must be super friendly, like friends, or they must be sisters or something, which is an odd thing to say. That seems like a bit like a stereotype when it comes to lesbians or bisexual women. They automatically think that they're just being super nice, friendly to each other, or expressing their sisterly love, which is odd. But I guess with like, some of the characters, I guess if they want to be shown in the movie, it'd be super direct. I guess because people might read too much into it or whatever. or take it the wrong way or whatnot. But I guess that would have happened anyway, regardless, because people would take things out of context, nonetheless. Not that I'm trying to sound pessimistic or anything, but I'm just pointing that out. People would take things out of context anyway. But there's apparently indications of queerness in the film when it comes to the friendship, and I mean I don't see that really. I don't see that whatsoever, like at all. But I mean, if you really want to show more diversity, but at the same time, not trying to dismiss what was already done, you could have, maybe something in regards of, like I said, the gothness. You could have a goth princess character, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how that would work out exactly, really, but you could have them fight off something, have a villain, because there have to be some sort of central conflict. I guess you can say. Yeah, this is a thing for some reason. And this has popped up multiple times with multiple articles basically saying the same exact thing. So yeah, this has happened more than once and quite a few times with different various articles implying that the film is trying to go a certain way. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of religious people are gonna have their hey say, they're saying all the in all this. But I mean, granted, like I said, if we have a goth princess or a form of it, anyway, a form of a goth princess, nonetheless. They can pretty much be up in arms with that too, as I was saying, but so be it. A lot of people are already against stuff like video games because how women look in them, because you have the shape of the bodies or whatever. So people are gonna be complaining about something nonetheless anyway, and they're gonna be looking forward to into it nonetheless, whether it's in a positive or negative way, they're gonna be doing it nonetheless. I guess you can say, because that's gonna happen. That's how people are. Their imaginations tend to go on I guess on a wild trip, so to speak. It happens. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, like this article was trying to say that yeah, they're not fully willing to commit to this, to embrace the queerness, as they would say. But I mean, okay, that doesn't mean they're against it or anything. But yeah, trying to call Disney out as if they're not gonna be brave enough to commit to this kind of a thing, which is odd. Okay, yet nobody says anything about the fact that the company of Nintendo has been really wishy-washy on displaying the LGBT in their games. They're not exactly against it, but then at the same time, they're not exactly going to show it in their games. So, what can you make a remark about that? Oh yeah, and the fact that pretty much Dragon Age would have been actually banned in India for the homosexuals and whatnot. Nobody's saying anything about that, and also Dragon Age was also criticized for whitewashing because of Sarah. Well, ain't okay to be more technical. It's because of the character Vivian. Vivian is kind of a closed-minded character in the game anyway, but of course it's within context, obviously. But yeah, people would do like edited pictures to make it as if that the company's up to something. The company, that made Dragon Age. I guess the technical word is mods. I guess you can say, to want to whitewash Vivian and make it as if that it's whitewashing when it really wasn't. But it just seems ridiculous that this kind of thing would exist. Obviously, I don't know why. Why does this have to be a thing? I don't know. So, but like I was saying, I would like to see maybe a goth princess because like I said, since they're known for their princesses anyway, you can use this as a way to educate these individuals and whatever. But okay, instead we're gonna focus on this. Instead, really, they're not against homosexuality. They've shown people you know they allow people to have their own thing going on in their theme parks. There's a whole gay day thing that they have been doing since the late 1990s, 97 I believe, if I remember correctly. And since Barack Obama, the former president of the United States, had allowed the community, the LGBT community, to marry one another and whatnot, and now they can actually get married at Disneyland. Not that you have to or anything, but at least the option is there. So yeah, but so yeah, they're actually the Disney is actually raking up a ton of money because of this, which is fine. But yeah, trying to say that they're ashamed of this kind of a thing or whatever, that's not the case here. That's definitely not the case of what they're trying to do here. Obviously, they're not ashamed of it at all. They even have merch with the kind of for the LGBT thing. There's lots of LGBT flags and their toys, shirts, or just the flags themselves. So yeah, they've done it before in more ways than one. They're ranking in the money just on the items alone. So yeah, about that, it's not exactly how they're trying to paint the picture and whatnot. Trying to claim it like it's sort of, oh, they're not brave enough for the story. Um, yeah, the main character is pretty much taken up by the free spirit individual, and who happens to be another like sea monster, sea creature, or whatever. And yeah, they're pretty much like outcasts because of this. And a lot of people took this as an indication of that. I mean, as if it was a wink, wink towards homosexuality because of how a lot of people felt about, you know, how homosexuals are, gay guys, to be more specific, I guess. Again, that's not what the movie's trying to say. I mean, that's how they took it. And that's how people took it, sure. And it's not meant to be taken that way. I mean, I never got that. I mean, not until I saw articles like this I was talking about. I mean, not that there's anything inherently wrong with wanting to have like a metaphor or anything, but again, that's not what the movie's trying to show. Then trying to put meaning there that doesn't exist. That's not the intent of what they were trying to do, like whatsoever. It's what I'm trying to get at. So I don't know. Just seems weird that a lot of people are trying to say that they're being shameful. They're not being respectful enough to when it comes to displaying this kind of a thing. I guess you can say. But if you ask me, like I said, with the whole goth thing, I want to see that. And if you really want to make it come off really different, really go for it. But at the same time, not trying to dismiss the whole old Disney princess stuff. You can keep the whole old traditional Disney princess stuff. At the same time, trying to mix it up with the brand new kind of a thing and whatnot. I don't know. You can be creative with it. Like I was saying, you can have a villain, I guess. And I mean, the villain, him or her, doesn't really have to be bigoted. I don't know. You can have a villain, maybe that's envious, maybe jealous of the fact they have a relation. The said character has a relationship. Maybe the villain character wants a relationship, but maybe that could be the motivation. I don't know. The article I'm referring to brings up the fact that the consistency, how do I say, yeah, they're casually physical with one another, like sleeping side by side, or maybe under a star-filled sky, wrapping their arms around each other's waist or something, and watching the sunset together. That doesn't imply that there was a thing going on. It can't just be about like the friends and what's up. Doesn't mean what they're trying to get at, really. So it just comes off like they're just trying to grab like anything that could be about that. Just really reaching for stuff here. I mean, if you don't have an LGBT themed story, it's not that you can't have it. That's not what I'm saying whatsoever. I'm just trying to point out the way I looked at it. I'm just trying to look at what's the movie's trying to do. What's the context? What's the intent? Does the entire movie fit together in the way they're supposed to? Of course. And yeah, it just depends on what's the intent. The actual intent in the movie, not what you think that the intent is, but their intent in the movie, the way it's delivered. So yeah, it just depends how it's done, of course, obviously. So film can be a good way to educate people, obviously, of course. I mean, yes, okay, that both characters do spend a lot of the time in the film and trying to encourage each other and whatnot, being playful or whatever, of course. And people thought that could indicate that it could blossom into something else, which yes, it's not no, it doesn't mean that it's going to be a thing. Yes, their relationship does mature throughout the entire thing, but that's because of what they've been through. But that doesn't mean that, or an item really. Of course, that doesn't mean they're together. But yeah, it just seems that people are looking way too much into something that's not even there at all. Especially when it comes to the ending. I'm not gonna say anything about the ending. The article does bring up the ending, but I don't want to do it because I know not a whole lot of people have seen it really. But like I was saying a moment ago, I've seen lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of articles saying the exact same thing like this article I'm referring to. I'm not going to be responding to any other articles because they're basically going to the same notion here, and I'm going to their own reasoning behind it, of course. But basically, they're all trying to say that they're suggesting that there might be a thing between the two, and the whole thing with loneliness and whatnot. But being heartbreaking and the whole thing being, tear jerking is kind of stuff and whatnot. But and yeah, just but yeah, that doesn't mean that they're gonna be embracing that kind of way, folks. But again, like I said, I would like to see a Disney goth princess. And yes, like I said, like I said already, there's multiple subsets of it, of course. And if you want to make something really different, like really stand out, what can you do then instead? I don't know. And if you have some gay guys, maybe we have gay servants, maybe. I don't know, maybe. And like I was trying to say a moment ago, is that maybe there could be some tension with. Maybe you don't necessarily have to have a villain, really, but you do need some sort of conflict because things need to happen in the story. Maybe there's some tension within, let's say Arendelle, or I mean, it doesn't have to be Arendelle. I'm just using an example. It doesn't have to be that, but like when the first Frozen film, there was some tension because they discovered Elsa has powers. Maybe do something in lines of that. Maybe some of the own citizens of this own kingdom may not be all that well accepting of the goth people. Maybe I guess because they're close-minded, I suppose. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be religious reasons. I mean, if you want to add religion to it, but you don't have to. Maybe have a different kind of reasoning behind it. It doesn't always have to relate to religion, of course, though that's probably the easiest default route, I guess you could say. Point being, there could be some citizens that feel uncomfortable, and yes, it's going to use the think of the children argument, of course, well, in a religious context or not. But still, maybe that could be the conflict, and maybe have a character that's kind of trying to overthrow the king, or maybe queen, or whatever, as a result of this, and maybe both the king and the queen, I guess, because they'll oh, how dare you allow this thing to occur? Blah 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 blah. Have their own have their own clan, I guess, that has been made, like a sort of clan rebellion that's been made right underneath their noses, I guess you can say. I don't know. There's different ways in which you can do this. There's different ways you can create a conflict, of course. It doesn't necessarily always have to be have a villain. Is what I'm saying. It could be just within its own borders, I guess you can say, or whatnot. Or maybe you can to pretty much take the same idea, but what I just said, and maybe keep it between two nations, two kingdoms. It's not that far from each other. Maybe there's the whole thing with the trade deals and whatnot. Maybe it could affect that. Kind of how the United States of America has some trade deals with like Japan or any other country. Kind of like think like that one. There's been multiple companies and then multiple nations having trade deals with various nations with so and so doing this and that or whatever. You can have the same kind of notion here, I guess you can say. Maybe, I suppose. And maybe that could be taken into effect somehow in a negative way if it don't shape up. Maybe the other kingdom has something against God people. I don't know. There's a bunch of ways in which you can do this, folks. And I'm just saying. But like I said, this is just my way to respond to the one article I just I looked into. I guess you would say it just seems that they just want it to be about homosexuals. And I mean, yes, even my point, even the LGBT can't look too far into things. Is what I'm saying. It kind of reminds me of Elsa when they claim Elsa was a lesbian, which is not. But I mean, if she was, so what? Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying. Even they can look in too much into some things. I mean, it's not inherently evil or anything, of course. I'm just pointing out. It can't just be between two friends. That's it. But anyway, folks, I just figured I'd do this. I mean, it's very lengthy. But anyway, as always, thanks for watching and take care. Until next time, see you.